Hi again, this is the first episode in documenting how I create a character, but before I talk about that, I just want to say two things. One, thank you so much for the support that I've received. It makes me really happy that people are so encouraging and so, supportive, and it really motivates and pushes me to make more. So thank you so much for that. I am definitely I've got that push now to keep going. So yeah, just a really big thank you there. Number two, this project will be recorded and edited and uploaded in real time. There might be quite big gaps between actual videos. There's not much I can do about that unless I just not upload anything for months on end. But I've got a couple other ideas for different videos and stuff like that I'm working on, so hopefully if there hasn't been a video for this series, there's other videos that'll be up that you can watch instead. That's the plan. Hopefully it works. So now, on to the rest of the video. So normally the first step I take in creating a character is asking, what is this character for? Is this a D&D character? Is this a LARP character? Is this for any other tabletop out there, like Call of Cthulhu or something like that? Like, what is this character supposed to be for? It could just be a really cool concept that I want to explore and be able to change to fit into different systems and all sorts of things like that. There is a very big white fluffy doggo. I'm sort of skipping that step for this because I already have the next kind of question, which is what's the starting point, which is this. So this is a really awesome flower sword. I won it as part of a LARP raffle group on Facebook, which I will link down below in the description. It was originally made by Twisted Goblin Armory, who are also linked in the description. And yeah, I just really love the design of this sword. The green leaves on the handguard and the amazing pink petals on the inside of this, as well as on the pommel. It just feels like this sword was made for someone. Not just anyone, but someone. So yeah, pretty cool starting point, right? This sword is not something I'd normally buy myself. My main LARP system is low fantasy, and it's just a bit too theatrical, dramatic, that sort of thing. It doesn't quite fit into that system. But I won a LARP raffle, and I chose that as my prize. And that's also where this idea of creating a character around it came from, which is what I'm doing. So yeah, my main LARP system, this sort of weapon, it is a bit too dramatic. But I have crewed another system, which isn't low fantasy, it's rather high fantasy. You know, they've got elves, they've got, it's essentially 5 different worlds, so you can generally fit anything into it. One thing that they do have is Fae, which is sort of like fairies, which is what I feel this sword fits into. So you might be able to tell, the first thing that I know for definite about this character is they're going to be some sort of magic character, someone with some sort of magical abilities, or they can cast spells of some kind. Part of that is because the leaves around the handguard are green, and you know the flower inside is pinkish coloured. To me, that indicates almost like it's alive. You know, it's an actual flower. You know, if it was silver or grey, like the blade is, I would consider it more of a decorative piece that could fit into, you know, a low magic system. But they're not, they're green, and I really like that. So we're going to go for, you know, a much more magical, mystical kind of place and character. The next thing I know about this character is they live in some sort of forest. Makes sense to me. They're going to be using this sword. It's literally a flowered sword, living in nature, like fairies or fae would. It all ties together to me, which means this is going to be some sort of foresty nature, grass, leaves, vines, bugs, plants, clover. Before I get too carried away, the main starting thing is have a starting point. Choose something, just one thing that you want to sort of not necessarily base your character around, but where you want to start the concept of them. For me, it's this flower sword. For you, it could be a book, or a piece of clothing, or some other piece of kit that really just, you really want to have a character that uses it and is almost known for it in a way. The next part for me is thinking of words that go with that starting point. So I got a little carried away a minute ago, and I started listing, forest, nature, bugs, grass, clover, all that sort of stuff. They're all words that I would connect with my starting point, which is a flowered sword. This sword gives me somewhat of a magical foresty feel to it, so I'd throw in magic, fae, potions, spells, all sorts of things like that. What you want to do is gather all these words together and you start forming the next step, which is my favourite step, mood boards. I'll sort of leave it there for now, because I've also got to go create a bunch of mood boards now to prepare for the next video and the next step, and generally that's a good place to sort of leave it. You're thinking of your starting point and you're going to think of connecting words with it, and maybe create a few mood boards to go with those words. As much as I love to physically make a mood board, something I can then put up on the wall, I'm likely going to be using Pinterest, hashtag not sponsored, mainly because I don't have the access or the capabilities at the moment to be printing out a lot of paper and pictures as much as I love to, but I'll be putting it all on Pinterest, on boards. I will link the boards below in the description in case you want to follow them. Like I said, to me this is like the best part of the project, because you can really let your imagination run wild. If you find yourself going down a tangent, follow it. Don't just cut it off. Follow it for a bit longer. See if it leads to something completely new that you didn't even think could work for a character. A lot of the time you can just fit things in. Sure, it has to make sense, but you can really let your imagination run wild, which is a really fun part. It's a great part of the creative process. There are so many wonderful things people have created. Costumes, props, mini stories, paintings. I highly encourage people to go and have a look at anything and everything and see what's there, get inspiration from it. If you like a certain part of something, put that down on your mood board. You can even write what you liked about it, maybe write things you would change for your character, anything like that. Anything. The imagination is one of the most amazing things, and please use yours and look at other people's work to get inspiration. As I said, I love this part of the story. Part of the story? Yeah, it's a story. I love this part. Poke me on Twitter if you haven't heard from me in a little while and want to see what else is going on. I'll get back to you. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed this. If you are using this as a sort of guide for creating a character yourself, please leave a comment down below. We can all share ideas, throw out different themes, all sorts. It's so much fun to do it as a small group of people with loads of encouragement and motivation. Let's do this together. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye!